we're in the theme of launching a new product.
Mhm.
Now, Etsy is an amazing marketplace if there is a market on Etsy for it. So you
Mm.
need to do your research. You
Oh
need to
yeah.
get on there and understand how Etsy works so that you can stock competition, see how many sales they're making, see if people are interested. If there is nobody going to Etsy to buy your product, you're probably not going to sell anything. So it
That's
sounds
kind
super
of
simple, but the basics are doing a little research can really prove to you before you invest all of your time and your confidence.
wow. Well
Do a
said though.
little, yeah,
Yeah.
do a little research. And before you know it, you'll understand how much money you could make and is it worth your investment to actually learn Etsy as another language because it is its own language.
Wow. No, that's interesting you say that. What makes it, its own language, as you said?
So the way that you rank in Etsy or the way that people find you is in your title of your product description, which, like on Amazon, if you shop on Amazon and you're searching for, let's say, gold diamond ring, you're going to want to put that keyword in your title. Well,
Sure.
Etsy does the same thing, but they have so many tips and tricks and guidelines that it's really a whole new analytical way of making titles and tags. So they have all their own little quirks to be put in front of your potential customers. And you really need to learn how to work the system so that you can gain traction and be at the top with the main competitors.
Oh, very well said.
Yeah.
Which categories, and I always hear this kind of question thrown out there, but what categories do better in Etsy? I think
So
everyone says the
So
jewelry.
Etsy is such a niche marketplace. It is huge for weddings, anything wedding related, wedding decor, bachelorette parties, groomsmen's gifts, even wedding dresses, wedding rings. All things related to weddings are huge on Etsy. Also, sarcasm. Sarcasm
Really?
is huge on Etsy. If you make mugs that have funny sayings that make people laugh, everyone is looking for humorous gifts on Etsy. That's also a huge,
Oh, that's
huge niche,
interesting.
which is so much fun. And also, let's see, we got weddings, we have humor, and also really handmade quality items. So let's say, it is your sister's birthday and she's your favorite sister out of all of them, right? And she bought you something really cool for your birthday. So now you have to buy her something super cool to return the favor and hopefully get something again super cool on your next birthday.
Right,
So
right.
you go to Etsy to find an amazing handmade gift that it's quality, will last forever, handmade, hand packaged, just something that you're not going to find on Amazon. You're not going to find at Walmart. You're not going to find at your local store. It is something from the heart made specifically for her. And so those kind of niches are also huge on Etsy because that's where you go to. And without sounding materialistic, Etsy is the place that you go to find something that truly is a gift from your heart.
Oh, that's so well said because that's
Yeah.
kind of where my thinking was. Well, what makes it different from an Amazon, as an example? Now you just really defined that quite well. Yeah, it's something
Amazon is all
personal.
about the cheapest that you can find. People go to Amazon for budget, Etsy for quality.
Wow. And so there really is. See, now I love that you noted that as well, because typically when you think, well, maybe it's just me, handmade, sometimes you don't necessarily think associate that with quality, meaning,
Yes.
right? Because they're not necessarily the same quality controls and for there are a variety of reasons of that. But I hear what you're saying that there really is a strong emphasis on that, and the companies that do the, I guess the shops that do this really have strong quality.
And what's amazing about Etsy is that their reviews are 100% true. On Amazon, you can buy reviews. On Etsy, you could not pay anyone to leave your review. They have to be a paying customer. And you have absolutely no control over what they're going to say, and you can never reverse it, never erase it. So, reviews on Etsy are brutal, but brutally
Wow.
true, which is awesome. If you are an honest and great shop, you have nothing to worry about. if you're a fly by night and just trying to make money, then people will call you out and your reviews will show it. And so it makes it really awesome for people that go above and beyond. So if you have a product that you want to launch that is outstanding and your customer service is amazing and it's geared towards the heart or towards weddings or humor, Etsy is definitely a good spot to launch it.
Very interesting. What would you say would be, if you had to pick one tip that a founder could implement to help them break through? Because that's one of the things I often hear is the biggest. It's sort of funny if you you hear people talk about it, you see it written. You look up anything on Etsy, they're like, "Oh, my shop, it's not doing this or that," and there must be like, I'm sure there are many, many tips, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
We're going to just one. If you had to say one, that is the thing that will help a founder break through on Etsy.
I think in my experience, the biggest tip that you could do is find your top 5 competitors and understand their success, see what's working for them. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not going to copy them, but we're going to see what has boosted them to the top. Read their reviews, look at their titles, their tags, their pictures, their pricing. How could you're trying to break the entry of barrier here. You're trying to get in. These people have been there for years. They got, 800 reviews. How do you compete with them? You go and see what's working for them and you try and use them as your mentor and you try to mimic them, not copy.
Right.
But you can be very similar. You can get great ideas of what is working on the marketplace. So it's a really quick way to get in and already know what's working for that niche.
That's great. And I love that you brought up the whole metrics part, because therein lies the rub, right? What's considered quote unquote good in the world of Etsy. I read one post from a poor store owner. I didn't know how to take this, but she was and it was like, wow. She was commenting that her store had, let's say it was like, I don't remember the exact number. I think it was like somewhere around 3 to 5 sales in the month. And she was wondering how could she do better. And then there was another Etsy store owner said, wow, well, 3 is really good in a month. So I was like, really? Is that the benchmark? So what would you say, given what you've seen, and I'm sure it depends on the type of category, but what would be considered a metric for success?
So of course it varies. Some people come in and they just do it for a hobby. And so any money is good because they just want to keep making what they make. And that is just a hobbyist. But if you're looking at this to actually profit and make money as a business, I would like to see you make at least a full-time living, which here in Hawaii, it is quite low. It's still about $4,000 a month. That's about $1,000 a week. If you can hit that benchmark on your Etsy shop, I would say you're doing fairly well. Now, I was just looking at my competition because I do stock them every single Monday. I have a list of over 50.
Oh, that's awesome. You have a day of the week.
Yes, I am very consistent. And so
fantastic.
Just to let you know, I follow 12 shops that make $9,000 every week.
Wow.
So on my biggest month, I made $38,000. Just by myself, sitting here alone in my garage.
Very
One woman operation. The sky is the limit. It's just you need to think out of the box on Etsy. You want to blend in because you want to be like your competition, but you need to attract your potential buyer by sticking out too. So it's kind of a balance. It's a game for sure.
Yeah.
But I would say a lot of the moms that I've worked with, oh my God, I just had this amazing woman from Canada, which Cindy is from Canada. And I was like, oh, Canada people, they're so awesome. She just started the second shop doing digital labels, like beer labels, for dads and presents. And so she just does digital downloads. And she just replaced her full-time income with her Etsy shop in the last 3 months after working together. So it has been so awesome for her. I love working with moms. And it's just so cool. I wish someone was there for my mom to help her, make better choices and make more money and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like it's my life purpose to give back to moms and help them find this incredible financial freedom that I've found. I would say
Yeah, no,
stumbled upon, but that would be so untrue because I literally stay up all night searching. As
that's
we all know, there is no quick overnight success.
yeah, very good point. And what I'm hearing you say, it's not a low cost strategy. Like I don't know if I've never shopped on Etsy. I admit, and I'm going to start now since
Oh, you better go check it out. Okay,
yes, it's the
warning though,
quality.
it's gonna suck you in like Pinterest. It is
Yeah, no, but I
amazing.
like that because I agree with you. You know, I like unique things, and so I
Yeah.
love what you said about the quality piece. So that made me think that. But given that, you don't when I'm hearing you say you don't see founders or shop owners just really trying to drive their costs low to compete. They're looking for other ways to attract people in that
To
space.
stand out and be different. Let's say that you're selling a gold diamond ring. Could you package it beautifully in a handmade box? I mean, could you offer a certificate or a love poem or a story with it? And that, Etsy's romantic that way because it's
Wow.
personable. You can reach out to that shop owner and let them know special request, customization. And so it's really a great place um, again for heart to heart purchases, small business owners. And so when you're a small fish, it's a good place to be. You don't want to be going to Amazon when you're surrounded by these big fishes full of capital, lots of money to undercut you and send you out of business. Etsy is a great place for people with low amounts of initial capital, but lots of heart and lots of time and lots of initiative and motivation.
Yeah, I like that. Now, talk to me about using social media to drive. It seems like I think this is the thing that really attracted me to this whole concept and actually including it in the summit, using social media to drive Etsy sales. I think it's honestly, Amber, unlike any place I've seen. It's almost like you cannot have a successful Etsy shop if you don't drive your social media. And it's only certain types of social media. So can you give your take on that?
Yes. So Etsy has, and I got some stats here. There are 1.8 million Etsy sellers, and there are 30.6 million active Etsy buyers. So there's
Wow.
a lot of people online, a lot of people searching. And as we know, when people search, they don't always know what they're looking for, right? So it's like,
Just
how do
browse.
you know? How do you get in front of them? How do you find your potential buyers? And Etsy does an awesome job of trying to match you with your potential buyer if you're able to create the right titles and tags. Now, there's only going to be a certain amount of traffic that Etsy can bring you. If there's only 10 people looking for your product on Etsy, there's only 10 possibilities of a sale.
Mhm.
But with the use of social media, you're able to reach a much broader audience. You're able to reach across the world, across every country, every
Mhm.
time zone, every gender, every interest. And so it increases your traffic and increases your potential of getting a sale. So again, Etsy does amazing at bringing you traffic within Etsy, but if you really want to grow, that's when you want to use your social media to even add more to your traffic.
But you know what I can't put my finger on. I don't know if you have insight on why is this really driving traffic on Etsy as opposed to other stores? Like for example, I read something where that approximately 40% of sales came directly or indirectly because of Pinterest, as an example. And I'm like, whoa, that is staggering. As opposed to my point, yeah, people do social media for their Amazon or for eBay but it seems like, wow, Etsy users, buyers, that is really pretty significant.
Well, Pinterest, people go to Pinterest to come up with ideas because they're ready to buy. So Pinterest is a great social media to find warm buyers, to
Mhm.
find people that are ready to purchase. They're I'm not too sure if you're familiar with Pinterest. I'm a
Yeah.
Pinterest addict.
That's
But it's a
awesome.
place, it's a visual marketplace where you post these beautiful pictures and ideas for all things wedding and gift ideas, which is exactly what is sold on Etsy. And so Pinterest and Etsy, I find very similar niches, very similar types of buyers and
Very good.
users. So I like for me, my shop, I use Pinterest religiously every week as my free social media that dominates. And I get about 20 to 30% of my sales from Pinterest. And it's
Wow.
free. I mean, free. I don't do ads on Pinterest. I don't do any of the boosting. I just do my free pinning every week, and 20 to 30% of my sales come from Pinterest. And it's so cool because on
Wonderful.
Etsy you can track it and it tells you how many people came from your social media channels, and it blows me away. I'm like, I love you even more, Pinterest.
I think you really help bring some clarity to it. That makes so much sense now why it those social media platforms really are driving traffic on Etsy because there is a relationship. There is an alignment between someone who's, wanting to check out what's happening for their
Yeah.
wedding and pin different things to help them plan. And then
Most brides are on
yeah,
Pinterest. So if you're
yes.
selling bridal stuff on Etsy, you better jump on that bandwagon.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know if I should ask, so tell me if not so much, but do you want to share what your Etsy site is, your Etsy store, or
Yes.
okay?
So I don't even have it in front of me. I do these super fun bachelorette tattoos, and it's called Tats for Now. I don't know if Cindy Ball, I don't love my name. I just listen to her, but wow, wow, wow. I can't change it. It was one of those whim group things
That's
that she just said not to do.
that's awesome.
But
That
it's a
sounds a
super
good
fun
name.
shop. I do some really fun. They're the gold temporary tattoos like Bride Tribe and Team Bride, and I do
Oh
create,
yeah.
and just super fun little favors for your bachelorette party, which is awesome because I'm always helping a party. So, I mean, I love working with these women. I have a ton of fun shipping it out over the world to all these ladies that are celebrating their last weekend single.
Yeah, last weekend single. That's great. And if anybody has questions, go ahead and pop those in the Q&A as we keep chatting here. Question about Etsy apps. If you're familiar, or what do you think about makers using Etsy apps to promote their services? Like I've heard of something like Whatify and Merchpin and different apps like that. What are your thoughts on that?
I love Etsy apps. If there is
Oh,
any way to work less and make more, I am all for it. And all of these apps are filling gaps that Etsy is unable to fill because they're such a big monster. You
wow.
know, they can't take in every single suggestion and create a fix for you immediately. You know, they need to think of the whole group and how it affects you, how it affects each person, and blah blah blah, whereas in an app might be exactly what you need for your shop that could help you instantly. You know, some keep track of inventory for supply shops. Awesome. You know, how do you count every single bead? That's impossible.
Oh,
Some do your taxes, some will help you with shipping. I use shipstation.com. Holy shamoly, it saves me. I used to spend 3 hours a day doing my shipping labels. I spend less than 30 minutes a day now printing
oh,
out my shipping labels. It's amazing. You
wow.
know, so all these apps, Whatify, I just actually got on the phone with them last week. They're in New York, and they're new and they are amazing. They're now bringing split testing of photos to see how they can help Etsy sellers have their best photo out to possibly win a sale.
Oh,
I
wow.
mean,
That's
this is
phenomenal.
stuff that they've been using on Amazon and these large corporations have access to, that now it's available for someone like me out of my garage. So
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of apps, but I also love change, which a lot of people don't. And I love being flexible, and I love all kind of stuff. So I'm
Yeah,
weird like that.
that's helpful because yeah, I wasn't sure if that was. a thing. You know, I was seeing all the apps, and it was almost seemed like
And
its own universe.
and there's so many of them. It's basically like an iPhone, like
Yeah,
an
it's like
iTunes.
iStore.
Yeah, you can have so many apps that help you run your shop. I think, the theme is to be able to be a one person operation on Etsy. They love the handmade. So they love teams too, but they want to give you as much tools as possible. So I am grateful that Etsy allows all these apps, on the marketplace and, able to even integrate with your shop.
Very good. Is there a place on Etsy, or do you foresee a place on Etsy for services? Or is that,
Actually, there are tons of services already on
oh,
Etsy.
okay.
So if you need to get branded, if you need copywriting, if you need templates for your social media, if you need someone to make titles and tags, take your pictures, there are tons of services on there that are kicking butt. There's
Wow.
all kinds of Etsy's literally Etsy has everything.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you, I mean, it's quite enlightening for me. But I mean, why the purpose of the summit was because there are people from all spectrums. You know, people
Yes.
have multi-million dollar businesses, founders that are here, people who have already gone through Series A, Series B funding with venture capital, people who are new and trying to figure out what their ideas and or trying to launch it. And so you sharing sort of this Etsy machine and
It's a
all the
whole new stream of income that a lot of people don't understand exists.
yeah, I think well said. It's a whole new stream of income, but recognizing, I think the key takeaway is that it is unique and it's like a walled garden in the sense that the confines of Etsy are very different than trying to get out there on Amazon or on
Yeah.
eBay. And you've got to recognize those differences and have a strategy to deal with them. I think that's what's key, right?
But it is so awesome because people go there for unique things. So if there is something that you can't categorize, it could possibly do extremely well on Etsy.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this one thing as well regarding are there metrics about what's considered closing a sale, good for closing a sale? For example, in the world of online media, perhaps doing an online webinar, you can expect hopefully to get like 10% close rate. Is there a close rate that's considered acceptable in Etsy or
So
good?
I would say that every 10 visitors that actually click on your picture, you're going to get one sale.
Oh, good. So it's
Yeah.
10% as well.
Yeah. Um,
Interesting.
that's my average, and working with, all these other moms, that has been about the norm. If you can hit that marker, then your shop is set up correctly and you are getting good sale conversions. So that
Very good.
that is a good way to understand if your pictures are on point, your titles, everything is set up correctly. If you're not hitting that benchmark, then you need to go back and you need to do a self audit of your shop and really figure out how you can get to that point.
Love that. I think that just understanding the conversion rate and understanding how to get it built, understanding what it takes to leverage some of the tools out there, but then
Yeah.
understanding your numbers are what makes success. So that's pretty terrific. So listen, I hear that you have a great offer for the summit users. And while we're talking, my friends, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and pop them in the Q&A and I'll ask Amber those as well. But do share, my friend.
All right. So, speaking of social media, and the holidays are coming up,
Yeah.
this is now a great time to get your social media pumping and drive extra traffic to your holiday sales. Black Friday is just around the corner. I think I read somewhere that there's 97 days till Christmas. Like,
Oh my
ouch.
gosh.
I think that was yesterday. So now we're 96.
The panic ensues.
So the urgency is here. And so I know a lot of people that are already on Etsy, maybe they're not leveraging Pinterest. And so I created this amazing course called Pinning for Shop Sales. And basically, for anyone that's here today, it's normally $197. I'm going to start it in October. And anyone that's here today, if you buy it within the next 24 hours, you're going to get $50 off and a free shop review from me, meaning I will go to your Etsy shop and make a video of all the things that you could improve and how you can go about doing that. The course is 4 modules long. It's totally self-paced. You go online and do as much or as little as you feel comfortable. And you have me every single week going online and answering all of your questions live. So you get 4 weeks of access to me as well to help you get through any of your blocks. As we all know, we buy a course, but actually doing it sometimes and implementing can be difficult. So I will literally hold your hand once a week.
That's really helpful. And I'm so glad that you brought that point up around keeping it self-paced, but they have access to, I mean, that's to you, but also that you will actually look through their shop and on video give some perspective. I mean, that's pretty terrific. That's pretty,
yes. Yeah. It's really great to see a lot of Etsy shop owners don't have their shop set up correctly. So wow. Yes, it's a huge thing. A couple of tweaks can make all the difference.
Yeah, I can see that just from some of the things that you shared. I mean, the SEO is important for any kind of online presence, but they sound like there's some unique and specific things to the world of Etsy. And if you come in there thinking, well, I sell on Amazon, so I'll be good. Well, good luck with that.
No, I have had these power Amazon users reach out to me and they're like, I sell $900,000 a year on Amazon and I've made $1 on Etsy.
Wow.
Like, it's a whole different world, you know? So yeah, it's a game changer.
Love that. Any other thoughts or questions, thoughts regarding what could help someone get them over the hump, if you will, to make a decision to start their Etsy shop? That bit of motivation?
So starting your Etsy shop is extremely time consuming. And so best advice, do your research, make sure you can make money in your market and niche, like we spoke about. Find your competitors. And if you need help, reach out. There's a ton of people that have already gotten to successful shop owners. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask. You know, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can get to where you need to go a lot faster. You do not have to be alone in your garage late at night suffering. So get help. You know, there are ways to catapult you very quickly from beginner to at least intermediate, if not expert.
That's very good. Does Etsy actually offer I guess shop owners discount shipping rates like
yes,
Amazon?
They do.
Oh, great. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that so much.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge discount, but there are apps for it too. And other apps will offer you greater discounts. So you can always find ways to save a lot of, Etsy's huge. So there's a lot of services that can help you.
Yeah, I love that. Tell folks, my friend, how they can find you as well.
So my business is BIZ, mindedmommy.com. And you can find me on Facebook. I'm online, bizmindedmommy.com. I have a super cool free resource library. You can go check out a bunch of tips and tricks and videos. I do have a way to find your competition and see how much money they're making. Mm-hmm. So if you go and head on over there, you can watch the video and download the spreadsheet and find out if what you're selling actually could make money. Takes about 5 days. And some secret stocking ninja tricks that I offer.
Oh, that's
as we all know, if you're a mom too, you got to keep track of your kids and everything finances. So you learn how to stock, it's kind of just what happens as a woman.
Yeah. Learn to use your time wisely,
yes.
Right?
Yep. You don't want to waste your time.
That's good stuff. Okay, I can't thank you enough. This has been really, I mean, some great insights, some great takeaways for people, no matter where they are on the spectrum in terms of their product or service. And like I said, I've been seeing, reading so much around Etsy, and I kind of just like, oh, okay, it's just another thing, but recognizing that, wow, there's a lot to be said regarding what you can do around that. So once again, I've popped in the chat, my friends, the link for Amber's Summit only offer. So you can see that bit.ly link there right in the chat. So you can copy and paste that and use that and take advantage of her offer. Thank you so much. You've been so wonderful. Thank you. I do appreciate everything.
Thanks, Sharon. It was so nice to see you.
Oh, absolutely. Appreciate it.
Have
All
a
right,
great day.
everybody.